So the more I'm watching the entire show and over time looking at Gabriel and the entire plot point, I'm starting to think that the show is now starting to get underrated and the same thing is over being repeated again and again throughout the entire episode. Now we know that Gabriel wants to get back his wife and he's doing the same thing, akumatizing villains in hope of getting Ladybugs and Cat Noir's Miraculous someday at the point, but it's just getting a repetitive process over throughout the show that it now starts to not make sense that much. Now, the weakest plot point at this point of Miraculous is, I think, just repeating the entire thing over and over again throughout the past episodes. It's just like Gabriel acclimatizing a villain of the week, and the Ladybug and Cat Noir defeating it every single day. It's just becoming over time, and let's just take a look at the New York special. For example, Mr. Pigeon. He's been acclimatized the 52nd time, or I think it's the 51st time. Why? Like, Gabriel, you know that this guy failed over time, and we know that someone named Monsieur Rat is coming out after Time Tiger, or at least in the episode Time Tiger was pointed out. And we just saw at the ending that Miss Xavier Ramier getting in love with Rat. So we know that Monsieur Rat is coming out some point, maybe in season 4, maybe in season 5, but just introduce a new villain right now because Mr. Pigeon is just getting way too boring. And it's just not with Mr. Pigeon. The overall plot of the entire show is just getting Gable acclimatizing a villain of the week, and it's just being repeated over and over again, which really Gabriel, or just the entire plot of the show, there's no redemption arc development or there's no kind of metadata story behind this entire show. It's just like getting way over boring. Now, yes, Gabriel does come up with the master plan after every single season. Like in season 1, we had Volpina. In season 2, we also had some things related to Volpina and then Gabriel's massive army and stuff. And in season 3, yeah, Gabriel did plan it out pretty well with Chloe and getting rid of Master Fu. So Gabriel is getting powerful over and over again and over time. And I do agree with that, but the thing is, this just shows how desperate Gabriel is to bring Emily back to life. And even his partner Natalie always keeps pushing him a little bit that not to hurry or just, just be stable. And then over time, this would come. It'll just take some time to progress. So Gabriel should definitely reflect on his life and just a single day, not accumatize people's and then just reflect back on himself, what he'd do in the previous and the past, which could be a very intriguing plot for the entire show and could be portrayed in an episode, which is going to be great, and I'm going to be expecting that on Gabriel Agreste. Now, I'm not going to be keeping my fingers crossed that's going to be happening in Gabriel Agreste, but at least something related to Gabriel or his past or his mistakes would be reflected in the episode. Just getting on with the Kumitai's master villain just doesn't make sense, and just repeating the overall plot of the entire show again and again in the same exact pattern. And some changes needs to come over and over time. And I hope in season 4 this will get a bit more progress and at least we're going to see something different. Now we know episode named Gabriel Agreste is coming out, so I hope this episode is going to be quite different from the other episodes. And I also wish that this is not an episode like the finale of season 4 or maybe after like the episode Gabriel Agreste, season 4 is going to end, or it's going to be the ending of season 4. I want this episode to be between season 4, or at least in somewhere in between season 4 and 5. It should be a different episode compared to what's already going on in an everyday situation of Miraculous. It's just, I want something different, and this should happen. Everybody should want something different at this point because it's just getting way too boring and doesn't really make sense. Like, Gabriel just repeating the over and over and the same thing again and again, it just turns out the whole show to be entirely boring. Like, we can get some new plot hole, we can get some development on Adrian, we can get a development on the past history, we can get a development on the other characters, we can get a development of Ladybug's past, how the Miraculous work and everything work. Now, we know Ladybug is going to meet the past Ladybugs at some point of the show, at least was confirmed by Thomas Astruc a few days ago in Twitter. So we just want something different and better so that it's easier to understand the entire story over just akumatizing a villain of the week, making one more powerful, less powerful, or just worse. For example, Stormy Weather 2.0. They just tried to do something different, but it just went in the complete wrong direction because they couldn't deliver it properly. So maybe just do it in a proper way, or just make an entire brand new episode, a brand new story of the entire show. Like, just not akumatizing, just talk about the characters, just give something different instead of just akumatizing someone every single time. Like, Stormy Weather 2 had some different touch to it. I liked it, and there are a lot of good parts of a Stormy Weather, just reflecting back on how the characters developed over the past. But again, we just need something better, a bit more different, and just a good way of showing that. Like in Stormy Weather 2, it was good, but it was not shown in a good way. It was just reflecting on the past of the characters, and a lot of people actually complained because it turned out to be more boring, and we didn't see how exactly the villain was defeated or developed because it just turns out to be a complete mess of the past. But again, we know Thomas is working on something really good, and I hope season 4 is going to be amazing because I'm wishing for the best. So what do you guys think? Are you excited for season 4, and do you think Miraculous is starting to get boring, and does Miraculous need a better plot development? Let me know in the comments.